day, good evening to everyone. Welcome back to hashtag from coach to coach, hashtag we talk on Mondays. This is your host Francisco, and we have all today the privilege from Oceane, and that she's here for her to share her stories. Hi, Oceane. How are you?
Hi, Francisco. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's my pleasure, Oceane. So, Oceane, the floor is yours. What would you like to share today?
Well, first of all, yeah, thank you for allowing me to share my story with you and your listeners. And what I'd like to share today is my story with coaching and how I came to discover coaching, but also what it brought to me and sort of my wider vision with what I want to do with coaching. And yeah, sort of that journey of discovery and learning for myself. It's been a very rich journey to say the least. Um, and coaching is something that I've picked up on since last year during COVID times.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had a challenging year, and it's allowed me to sort of reinvent myself in a professional way. And so I found coaching and have been studying it since and practicing and developing my skills. But something that I've really appreciated with coaching is the variety of tools it gives us to handle life on a day-to-day basis and look for opportunities to be creative with how we handle life,
Mm-hmm.
um, and getting to know ourselves deeper. And this journey of discovery has been beautiful, both for it's been very fulfilling on a professional standpoint so that I can help people, but also on a personal standpoint because it's a continuous learning of myself. And I have found over the years that learning more and more about myself allows me to understand other people as well. And that's something that has been incredibly rich through this journey, is being able to not only learn those tools, but use them to connect with other people and understand their lives a bit better and how they view life. And on a wider perspective, coaching it has been a revelation in terms of where it sits in the context of psychology and mental health today, and the different platforms in which we can explore our lives, whether it's with a coach or a therapist or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and what I have found great with coaching is that, as opposed to the standard psychology we have today, the therapy side of psychology, where the exploration happens in maybe a more, what I consider to be a more rigid context, even though there's amazing things that can be done through therapy. Um, I find that coaching gives sort of a freedom, a, um, a free space to explore um, what happens in our own internal worlds, and outside of the boundaries of diagnosis or these labels that therapies may bring on what is going on in our minds and in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I really have come to see this process as a sort of new age therapy, that opens up the world to our inner world. It opens the door to our inner world, and allows people to really bravely look at what inside without the associated fear of finding something else that's wrong within us. Um, and being able to explore this process and see how it impacts other people has been amazing too. And on a societal level, what I think coaching may bring is really this freedom to explore without association to negative things, what it is that goes on inside. And hopefully my mission with this is to hopefully, with each coaching conversation, allow people to explore themselves and bring forward their mechanisms and their own understanding of themselves, so they can, you know, develop their personal leadership, um,
Yeah. Hmm.
and and really bravely embody the personal leadership that we all have within us. Yeah, so it's been a wonderful journey. Yeah.
Well, Shan, what a lovely story you have there. Thank you for sharing that. I got some. I mean, let me try to put some kind of bullet or summarize in what you said for our audience to because it was a very interesting. You shared a lot of things. And coaching has given you opportunity to discover and continue learning. You enjoy because of a lot of variety of tools that you're encountering in the path of being coach.
Yeah.
I like what you said also about knowing a bit more deeper
Mhm.
between two individuals, I suppose, right? You as a coach and the person you're coaching. Yeah, and then there's a process that you can see. There's also a process of the coaching. Yet for you, the coaching could be also the new is a new wave, a new age of of be part of a certain of your inner world,
Mhm.
sort of,
Yeah.
and yeah, what else? Yeah, explore the process by in one of your mission. I think what I heard from you is the mission. One of the mission that you would like to have, or you this kind in this coaching journey is to connect with people, and then for them to realize that they are able to explore and that they are able to yeah explore other mechanism that there is inside of each of us, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Let me ask first one question, if you don't mind, Ocean. I'm part of this lot of input that you gave here. Just to, I know you're quite young, right? You look like you're young. But what were your before deciding to be a coach?
Yeah. That's a great question. It's something that I've had to reflect on as well when I've gone to coaching, how what got me to this point. And I have to say that the main thing that has come out for me over my journey is that I've always been driven by wanting to work with people and help people. So when I was 17 and nearing the end of my high school years, we all get to that period where we're asked, what is it that you want to do, or what do you want to study? What is your next step after
Mm-hmm.
school? And more often than not, at that time in life, you ask yourself that question, thinking this whatever I choose is going to be it for the rest of my life. And because it's quite a big decision to make, I remember my dad sat me down and he told me, you don't have to decide exactly what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life, but let's look at the things that motivate you, that you enjoy doing. And through that exercise, I was able to pinpoint that what I wanted to do is work with people, and interact with people from different communities, different cultures. Um, After that exercise, I went into hospitality and hotel management, and that was sort of my first step into my career. And I was first of all in guest facing roles, so I really was interacting with people from different cultures and working with
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Then I decided to move more into back office and concentrate more on HR.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that move was meant to get me closer to the teams, and that aspect of working hand in hand with people and encouraging and helping their self development. And through HR, I started familiarizing myself with the term coach and coaching. But I had even, and that was, last year, 2 years ago, I wasn't even really sure what coaching was. So the curiosity to understand what it was led me to see different types of coaching. And also, I ended up finding transformative coaching. And when I saw transformative coaching, the skill set it requires, or just the tools that it encompasses in the process, it seemed first of all to be heavily implicated into the helping people transform from the inside and really
Mm-hmm.
encouraging that self-development. So of course that element of it was really fascinating to me. And beyond that, it encompassed a certain amount of tools that I had been attracted to in the past, like emotional intelligence and empathy, and these tools that I naturally gravitated towards as I was younger in order to understand the people around me and myself better. And so when I saw this and all the tools together, it really, it seemed to be a perfect summary of the things that I was interested in, and also in terms of the purpose that you can have behind such a profession. And so all I wanted to do was just run towards it. So this all happened during COVID, and of course, I went through some challenging times. I lost my job as an HR manager, but I guess it also allowed me to spend all that time on coaching and bridging, transforming myself from an HR manager to a coach, and tapping into the skills that I already had, but being able to continue to develop them. And what was most important and more telling to me was that it felt like a natural progression of the path I'd been on since the beginning when I was 17,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
deciding to work with people. And what I learned through that was the beginning of my career is, as you said, I'm quite young. I don't have a lot of career behind me, but what I know, a lesson that came out from that was that my gut feeling was, there was always a center to my gut feeling, which was that I wanted to work with people. And over time, the jobs took different forms, but that is the part that always stayed the same. And I've always let myself be guided by that. And it's helped me learn over time that life takes different forms sometimes, or our career
Mm-hmm.
takes different shape, but that letting yourself being guided by that voice inside of you telling you what it is that you want to do is for me has been like my sort of safety net of just always knowing that whatever life looks like, I'm tapping into the thing that's driving me, and that over time, it gives me faith that I'll always be where I need to be at the time that I am, because I'm following that internal drive,
Yeah.
and being able to land in a place like coaching that encompasses all the things that I have been passionate about before has felt like a very nice, just rounded experience of fulfilling experience. You have just a nice completion of all these things coming together, and a new opportunity for me to continue that self development, as I take that role on. And I think that's also something that's been very important for me over the years is I want to help people, but my self development is very important to me as well. And coaching is brilliant for that. The learning never ends, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
something I think has been super fulfilling over time. And with getting to know coaching more is knowing that it puts us in a space where we're continuously challenging ourselves and learning more about ourselves. And I think from my standpoint, that's the best thing we can do in life, or at least that's what I want to do for my life, is ensuring that I'm taking the responsibility of self-development seriously, and encouraging my
Yeah.
self-development, whatever shape that may look like, and also going hand in hand with other people and encouraging their own self-development. I
Yeah.
think there's such a beauty in getting to know what is inside. The world outside can be very chaotic at times. It takes a lot of energy from us, but there's a wealth of information inside that we can tap into to handle what's outside. And I think to some extent we owe it to ourselves to look deep inside and find out all this information, so we can show up for ourselves in a way that we truly feel aligned with. And I believe in the fact that it also allows us to be present for the other people around us, because the peace inside is a great contributor to peace outside, and in society in general. So it's been an amazing journey to be able to land in this spot and share the experiences with other humans.
Yeah. Well, there you go, my dear listeners. There's the story of Xian. I, I was listening. While I was listening, I am able to really perceive the enthusiasm and very positive of messaging that she's sharing with us. And again, from his hospitality, with the new learning from she got from the COVID, now she's in a continuous journey of her exploration, continuous development, and new learning, hoping that she was able to engage with our listeners. Again, this is her story. I would like to share that story, and I would, I mean, it's really amazing that each of us has the way we perceive life or things, and at the end of the day, we also would like to share it to others for to connect with them, right? And that's I think which what your journey is. Thank you very much, Oceane.
Thank
In a
you for
time,
this
yeah,
opportunity.
thank you. Thank you very much. In a time because of our time, Ocean, is there anything else you would like to share to our listeners for?
No, just to embrace yourselves, and embrace your inner world. And there's a wealth of value in your own inner world. Oftentimes we look elsewhere to find value, but there's so much value within us. And I think going on that journey of discovering the value within yourself, or continuing that journey of discovering the value within yourself, is one of the greatest gifts you can bring yourselves. And so I wholeheartely encourage people to go on that journey in whichever form that is for them.
Yeah,
It can also take many different forms, but it's a beautiful journey, and there's lots to learn, and beauty to discover. And I wish all the listeners the best with that journey, and bravely embarking on it.
well, I think you're already been inviting, that emotions and that positivity they're sharing, Ocean. I do believe our listeners will be able to engage with you and contact you. Again, she is Ocean, or my privilege to be with her today. She's a transformative coach, and if you need, my dear listeners, if you need, someone to be connected and to learn more of what you have in your deeper inner, yes, world, as you said, feel free. Ocean is the person you would like to have for that session. Again, Ocean, thank you very much. Our time has ended. Thank you very much for
Oh,
your story. I will share your story definitely.
thank you. Amazing.
And my dear listeners, good day, good afternoon, good evening. This is hashtag from coach to coach. Hashtag we talk on Mondays. This is your host, Francisco. Hope to hear from you soon. And it's been a privilege, Ocean. Thank you very much. And dear listeners, to the next series. Thank you.